Good morning, my friends. I know it's Friday morning. As you can see, I'm dressed to go off for my walk, and I just wanted to do just a couple minute book review. I haven't done a book review since I was a senior in high school, and that was 55 years ago. So bear with me. I've read this book. I think I'm going to start reading it again because um, I, I, I retained some of it, but I didn't really retain a tremendous amount. And it's the Worm Farmer's Handbook. Uh, she does mid to large scale vermicomposting for farmers, businesses, municipalities, schools, and institutions. Rhonda Sherman is her name. I've seen pictures of her probably 2018, and gray flowing hair, and I would guess she's maybe in her 60s. If you aren't Rhonda, I'm sorry. But the book itself is really, this was published in 2018, and I started reading it, and I was keeping notes as I was going along. I won't read my notes to you, I won't hold you that long. But as I started carrying it with me and taking it to, doctor's appointments, or if I go to the dentist, I have to wait in between procedures. I was reading it, but you don't really retain that much, at least I don't, with things going on around me. So I'd like to read it again. It's an extremely interesting book. She's a very good writer. It's not dry at all. Um, as a kid in science class, I used to go, you know, how many minutes do I have until the bell rings? But she's entertaining. I guess that's really what I want to say. And maybe because I've heard her speaking, I can hear her voice in my head, and I found that very entertaining. She teaches at the University of North Carolina, and she has been. I'll show you. This is an old picture. I don't want to ruin my book, but this is kind of an old picture of her with her brown hair, and she was hired to like 30 some years ago to find the best use for garbage. It's probably about the best way I can say it. It was kind of a university and a municipality kind of thing where they were trying to figure out how to recycle and recycle without just building another landmass. And so she started into worms and getting the worms to digest all these things and to give back to the soil. Very entertaining. The book is put out by Chelsea Green. I have never in my life felt the texture of this paper. At least I don't think I have. But it's a wonder. I mean, it just is, the paper itself is so soft, and it's lovely to read, and as you're turning the pages, you feel that texture. Maybe that isn't important to people who are reading in a Kindle, but for somebody who's still a book person, I really appreciate having beautiful paper. And it's soft without being glossy. My eyes don't pick up the words if it's on a glossy page anymore. So it's a little small in the writing, in the printing, but for anybody with any disabilities that way. But the book itself, let me just say this, that this book probably could be read by middle schoolers, and they would have to have, terms explained to them, and a teacher, of course. I don't think this would be a self-taught thing. But even our friend Sandra at Nana's Worms and Garden, who has a 6 or 7 year old granddaughter, Micah, is explaining some of these terms to her. And I think what a wonderful way, other than saying, oh, the little buggy, to explain that is, oh, this little wormy Acinia fetida, but wait, we have Acinia Andre over here, and this is a red wiggler, and this is a tiger worm. And so you're already incorporating that into their brain at young ages when the sponge is still absorbable. My sponge is sending it back out. But she breaks it down for people with just small starting out up to businesses. She's been to something like 100 and she started out doing this 30 some years ago, and there was very little interest. And she said she's been to something like 135 countries at their request to come and see their operations. The last portion of the book, she's got like, I don't know, 40, 50 pages of different people who have all over the world started worm farms and how they got into it. And I'm a story person. If you give me a story, I'll learn. I'll learn the details, and then I will learn what goes with it. If you hit me with all the basic facts, then I just kind of like it's over my head. But she puts in a lot of just simple learning things that make it fascinating. I think one of the things I learned that I thought, I'm trying to remember where I had it, but worms can start out, there are so many, several thousand species of worms that the smallest is a half an inch and the largest was 22 feet. I don't want to meet them. So anyway, like I said, I haven't done a book report in 55 years, so forgive me if this isn't a proper way of doing it. But I actually bought this book for myself. It's $30, $29.95, and Chelsea Green Publishing was having a great sale. It was around spring, and they were having everything. I want to say it was 40% off or somewhere around there, and they were giving free shipping. So boy, that hit. And I bought a couple other books to entertain myself for my birthday back in April. And I ended up reading 4 books at one time. I would do a chapter and a chapter and a chapter, and I think this time I'm going to really hard-nose it and read this all by itself, and maybe I'll come back and give you another review. But if anybody has a chance, or if you can get it from your local library, or you can look up this lady and see where she, like I said, she's in North Carolina, and every year she organizes almost like, I guess, a symposium, and has people come to the university or areas around, and explains more about worm farming and the benefits of vermicomposting and worms. So anyway, I will leave you with that. I hope you can see the book. And I have my need to get my tennis shoes on. Need to get my tennis shoes on, and I'm off for my walk. So I hope everybody has a great day. Remember, garden what you've got, and I will see you back here real soon. Bye-bye.